In today's video, we're going to be comparing Perplexity AI, Claude AI, and ChatGPT for the best AI writing article for SEO. So let's get started. I usually use this tool, Claude AI, for my keyword research. And I just did this now for another video. You can find that how to create 100 blog posts, 100 pieces of content in 1 hour. I'll link that down below or at the end of the video as well. But these are some of the topics that I got. So let's test this out in all three. So I was just looking through them here, and I think this could be the best one to test out, right? It seems like a simple enough topic, right? How San Diego's climate affects your roof. So we'll start with Perplexity AI. I don't know, a lot of people seem to be big fans of Perplexity AI. I'm not really that big of a fan because it seems to get a lot of facts wrong. And for me, is like the most important aspect of my business is, that I'm kept up to date, and it sometimes gets things wrong. So I'm not really that happy about it. But let's start off with this one, right? So we want to put the focus on writing here, and we'll also use the pro version, right? So that's our title. We need to just ask, we need to come up with a prompt, right? Okay, so I have my prompt now. So it's always good to first of all think about the prompts, right? So you are an expert blog content writer, so you have to set the role for the AI tool, right? And then, set the context. So I am a roofer in San Diego. Write me a 2,000 word blog article called How San Diego's Climate Affects Your Roof for my website, right? We'll just give a bit more context, right? For my website. Perfect. Okay, so we have everything set up for Perplexity AI. Let's do that and see what we get. Okay, so we got our article, and to be honest, it looks quite good. I'm quite impressed with this, to be honest. It's got different, numbers here, then bullets here, and, important information, right? Effects on roofing, so of low rainfall. So what happens when there's not much rain, right? And what you can do, right? So this, to be honest, is better than I expected, and also better than most content on lots of websites, right? Because, it's really gone into the topic, right? I'm not an expert on roofing, so I don't really know about all of these things, but it's like wind patterns. I like the way, it's not gone in too much into, weird kind of AI type writing, but it's just getting more to the point, right? So it is a little bit formal though, mitigation strategies. Who really says that? I always try to write, and think about the audience. Like in this case, does everybody know what these words mean? Maybe not. So I wouldn't really even use this word mitigation, because maybe some people don't understand that. And it's like, okay, what's even happening here? I'm lost, and you don't really want that on your website, right? You want to make it as easy as possible for people to understand the information, right? So that they can trust you. Okay, so we've done Perplexity. That was actually better than I expected. Let's try this out in Claude AI now. So I'll just copy and paste in my prompt again here. What this is, to be honest, what I use the most, right? I used Claude because Claude 3.5 Sonnet, I think, is the best writer. Okay, so it's like, much less fluff, direct to the point. And I really like this kind of, it's called an artifact, where it just shows you how it's writing it. And, you kind of get this nice preview of what it looks like. Another thing I like about Claude is that it gives you, it tells you a little bit why it's done things usually. In this case, it's told us, all the different sections. So that's why it's done that. And it's like, would you like me to explain or elaborate on any part of the article? So I really like that. That's probably one of my favorite things, because then I can just say, well, why did you pick number 7 or something like that if I'm going through it, right? So like you can see here, it's just really good quality, right? Isn't it? You can see the different factors, right, that are come into the climate, and then it's breaking it down in different sections. And again, we've got funny, it's both said mitigation strategies, right? The same as Perplexity. I wonder if Perplexity was using Claude for that article. We'll never know, will we? But it's probably quite likely, because Perplexity uses Claude quite often. So if you do have an article that needs, up-to-date information, then maybe Claude is not the best. I would recommend Perplexity then, because that can search the web. This can't. Okay, so it's kind of gone into the same. We saw this part before, right? And let's just check this. This is very similar, right? Okay, so we had our 3 effects here and then our mitigation strategies in Perplexity. So again, we have the same, it's almost the same article, really, isn't it? It's very, very similar. Okay, so that's quite interesting, because if everybody's writing the same article, then maybe, that's not the best for your website, right? But my advice is definitely, if you do use an article like this, add in your own expertise, right? I only recommend, I wouldn't publish this to my website because I'm not a roofer. I don't really understand anything about that. Right, let's move on to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has different models available to it now. Right, I'm going to actually test it with the new model. It's called O1 Preview, right? So we'll give it its best new model. Apparently, let's see what we get. To be honest, I have tried this before and it gives really, really good articles. So you need the Plus plan to get this one. To me, it's worth buying ChatGPT. It's worth paying for because, well, it's just got so many features. The voice mode, I can talk to it on my phone in real time. And what you can see here now is it's thought for a few seconds. So it didn't actually spend that long thinking about it. Sometimes it takes about 10 seconds to think about it. But yeah, I think this was quite a simple article for it to come up with, right? So you can see here it's gone through the impact on the roofing materials and what you can do about each section. So coastal climate, okay, what you can do. So it's gone in the same kind of way as like, okay, here's the impact and there's what you can do about it than the other 2 tools. But I think this looks a little bit better, right? And it's just easier to read. I think that's one thing I really like about this new model. I just find it's way easier to read. This is the way you would write it, right? Keep gutters clean, right? It's just simple. Right, that's almost what I would write. Okay, after heavy rains, inspect your roof for signs. There's no extra fluff, right? And I think that's super important nowadays, right? So it's gone, it's choosing the right roofing material. Okay, I think the other ones had that too, but I think this is, this is super easy to read for your customer, right? Isn't it? I really, really like this. And then the importance of professional roofing services. Excellent. Okay, so if you had a roofing website in San Diego, you would want to add that in and say, well, hire me, blah blah blah. Okay, and then conclusion, right? So really good. They've actually done that for us, right? So they've even put for personal advice or schedule. So they've done everything for us. Feel free or contact us. I don't know where that link goes to. I'm not sure, but to be honest, that's why I think this is probably the best tool. It's probably not meant for this, to be honest. I think they're supposed to use this for, other things, deep code or more complicated problems, but it's actually really good at blog writing too. So unfortunately, we can only use this about 20 or 30 times per week at the moment. So I wouldn't recommend you to do too many of these. But what I recommend is also to use a tool like Journalist AI. So the difference between a tool like this is you also get like lots of images and it's better formatted. So there's images right there, the key takeaways. So this tool was made especially for blogging, right? So, you got bolded text here and quotes and, it looks, especially good for a blog. Right, and you have outbound links and internal links, so you can just link to other pages on your website, which is very important for SEO. So it also will automatically publish to your website, so it takes away those steps of copying, pasting, and you can just do it. I'm trying to save as much time as I can these days with everything that I do, trying to automate as much as I can. I think it's super important for all businesses that we do that. Okay, so I'll leave a link to this in the first comment down below. You can try out 3 free articles and use the code Connor10 CONOR10 for a 10% discount. So what is your favorite tool? Is it Perplexity AI, Claude AI, or ChatGPT? I'd love to know in the comments down below. I really would like to know what you're using. To be honest, I think right now the best quality is actually this new version of ChatGPT. It's paid, I know, but okay, sometimes it's worth paying for. This one is Claude AI is very good for writing and organizing text, I find. And then Perplexity is good, especially if you need up-to-date information. And then Journalist AI for automations, right? So they all have different, use cases that might be different for each businesses. I think that's what I'm I'm finding out more and more that I use a wide variety. I also use Google Gemini sometimes, especially if I'm talking about, Google products, I want to use Gemini. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.